Hello students, today we are going to discuss about female reproductive system part 1. Before we start the topic, let me check our graphs by using some MCQs. So answer these MCQs. Out of these options, you have to select the odd one from this following. So first option is a prostate, second is a Cowper's gland, third one is a seminal vesicle, and option D is epididymis. Okay, just find out the odd one from this list. Okay, and answer in a comment. Next question. Out of these four statements, just you have to identify the false statement. Okay, and first statement is a testes are the primary sex organ of a male. Okay, B option is a Sertoli cells give nourishment to the developing sperms. Okay, and the C option is a leading cell produce androgen. Okay, D option is a rated testes temporarily store the sperm. Just you have to identify false statement out of these four. Just write down in a comment. Third MCQ, which gland lubricates the penis? Okay, so first option, Cowper's gland, B option, prostate gland, third one, seminal vesicle, and finally, all of the above. Just write down what is the answer in a comment. Fourth question, the cone-shaped tip of the penis. Okay, so tip of a penis is called vasa deferens, B option, glans penis, C option, prepuce, or D, urethral meatus. Just write down your answer in a comment. Okay, so finally let me start with the female reproductive system. Okay, so female reproductive system comprise of three main portions. Okay, so first of all, the main organ of a female reproductive system is the ovary that is present in the pair. Okay, so second is the accessory duct which include oviduct that is also called fallopian tube that is present in a pair. Okay, then second one is a uterus and vagina. So in today's lecture, we will discuss about ovaries and accessory duct. Okay, and third one is the external genitalia that include mons pubis, vestibule, hymen and clitoris. This all we will discuss in next lecture. So first of all, let me overview this female reproductive system by using this diagram. So first of all, main organ of a female reproductive system is the ovary. Why this is because of it is a main organ because it produces the egg cells. Okay, and that's why it is a main organ of a female reproductive system. Okay, this after this ovary, this is the fallopian tube here you can see. Okay, then you can see here uterus and then cervix, then this is the vagina. Okay, these all portions are considered as a female reproductive system. And if you observe here, it will be situated in between digestive tract. Okay, here you can see the rectum, that is a part of or a portion of a digestive tract. Okay, and here you can see the urinary bladder, which is a part of a urinary tract. So in between urinary tract and digestive tract, there is a female reproductive system situated. So what is the role of a female reproductive system? These parts of the system along with the pair of a mammary gland are integrated structurally and functionally to support the process of ovulation, that is egg release. Okay, and that is then next is a fertilization, then pregnancy, birth and childcare. These all process will be supported by female reproductive system. Okay, so let me repeat. These parts of a system, reproductive system, along with a pair of a mammary gland, that is a milk secreting gland, okay, and are integrated structurally and functionally to support the process of ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, birth and childcare. So first of all, let me start with the primary sex organ. So primary sex organ are the organ which produce ova or egg cell, that is also called female gamete. Okay, and these sex organ also produce steroid hormones or a steroid ovarian hormone which include estrogen and progesterone. Okay, these two hormones are considered as a female hormone, that is a steroid ovarian hormone. So production of these hormones and along with the egg production, that is done with the help of a primary sex organs. Okay, and which include ovary. Each ovary is about 2 to 4 centimeter in length. Here in this diagram you can see this is the location or situation of ovary. Here you can see it is connected with the uterus by using these ligaments. Okay, so these ovary length will be 2 to 4 centimeter. Okay, and they are located on the both side. Here you can see they are in the pair, located on the both side of the uterus. This is the uterus. Okay, and they are located on the both side of the lower abdomen and connected to the pelvic wall and uterus by very specific structure, and that is called ligament. Here clearly you can see the structure of a ligament. So by using this ligament, this ovary is connected to the uterus. So let me start with the ovaries in detail. Okay, so here in this diagram clearly you can observe this ovary, okay, which is connected by using ligament with the uterus. Okay, and ovaries are the primary female sex organ or a main sex organ that produce a female gamete, as well as they will produce steroid hormones. Okay, and this female gamete is nothing but it is also called ova or egg cells, and steroid hormone, which is also called ovarian hormone, which include estrogen and progesterone. So let me discuss in detail about ovary. So each ovary is covered by a thin epithelium. Okay, so each ovary, here you can see the ovary which is covered by the thin epithelium which encloses the ovarian stroma, inside which it is called ovarian stroma. The stroma has outer cortex, the outer part is called cortex. Okay, and inner part is called medulla. So the stroma has outer cortex and inner medulla. Ovary contain group of cells, okay, that is called ovarian or a Graafian follicle. Here you can see this is the follicle, that is a primary follicle. Finally it will grow, okay, and it will growing follicle. Here you can see the size of a follicle will be increased, then it will be converted into this egg cell and follicular cells. Okay, and finally it will grow or mature, and finally after maturation it will now called as a Graafian follicle. And now this Graafian follicle is ready to release the egg cell. Okay, and the process of a release of a egg cell is called ovulation process. And here you can see by after the blasting of this ovarian follicle, the egg cell will be released from the ovary. Okay, and this process is called ovulation. Okay, and here you can see the Graafian follicle will be blast or ruptured. Okay, this ruptured follicle, here you can see it will now empty. Okay, and after this formation or empty follicle, now it is called corpus luteum. Okay, and this corpus luteum finally will be regress. Okay, and this portion you can see the structure. This is the corpus luteum which is already regressed. Okay, so this is whole cycle of ovary inside the ovary. Okay, so ovary contains group of cells, that is a ovarian or a Graafian follicle. Each follicle, here you can see in the middle of a follicle there is a egg cell or a ovum. Okay, so each follicle carries a centrally placed ovum. So ovum will be centrally placed inside the follicle. In this diagram, you can clearly observe the ovaries here. Okay, this is the ovary, this is the ligament by using which this ovary is connected with the uterus, and this is the fundus of a uterus. Okay, the ovaries are covered on the outside. Here you can see outer layer of ovary is a simple cuboidal epithelium. Okay, this is a simple cuboidal epithelium, and it is generally it is called germinal ovarian epithelium. Okay, let me repeat, it is called germinal ovarian epithelium. And visceral, this ovarian epithelium is a visceral peritoneum that envelop the ovaries. Okay, and that is covered the ovaries, whole ovaries, and that is called visceral peritoneum, and that envelop the ovaries. Finally, ovaries will have underneath this germinal epithelium. So germinal epithelium is the outermost layer, right? Okay, so beneath that or underneath this germinal epithelium, there is another layer, that is a dense connective tissue layer. This will form a dense connective tissue capsule, and the dense connective tissue underneath the germinal epithelium is called tunica albuginea. Up to this, whatever we have discussed is all about ovaries. Okay, so now let me start with the accessory duct, which include three portions. First of all, fallopian tube here. You can see in the diagram here. This is a fallopian tube. Okay, that will be in the pair you can see here. Okay, and then uterus, this portion up to these. Okay, this portion is called uterus or a womb, and finally this portion and portion is called vagina. Okay, so we will learn in detail one by one what is the oviduct and what is the function of a fallopian tube, uterus and vagina. Okay, in this diagram you can clearly see all structures of a female reproductive system. This is the ovary which we have already discussed, okay, in detail, and then you can see here this is the oviduct, or it is also called fallopian tube. So fallopian tube having a three portions. This portion that is a funnel shape and that is called infundibulum. Then middle portion is of a fallopian tube is called ampulla. Then this portion which is connected directly with the uterus is called isthmus. And this whole portion together is called fallopian tube. Okay, and then here you can see this structure and that is called uterine fundus. Okay, and the cavity in between this you can see that is called uterine cavity. Okay, and here the very important information written. Okay, so uterine wall is made up of three layers. So outermost layer is perimetrium, middle one is called myometrium, and innermost layer that is here you can see the reddish color that is called endometrium. We'll discuss in detail about each layer. Okay, and this portion wall of a uterine is called cervix here, and portion is called cervix. Then this canal is formed, that is also called birth canal. Okay, and that is called cervical canal, and finally this portion is called vagina. And here you can notice a fimbriae is written. Okay, this is a means free portion of a fallopian tube, and that will have a finger like projections, and that is called fimbriae. So here in this diagram you can clearly see the fallopian tube, and that is called oviduct here. Okay, this portion is the infundibulum, then ampulla, isthmus. Okay, and the fallopian tube is attached to the abdominal wall by a very important structure or a fold that is called peritoneal fold, and the specific name for this fold is a mesosalpinx. Okay, so here you can see the mesosalpinx. Okay, this structure is very important to hold this fallopian tube at its sides. So let me discuss about fallopian tube in detail. Okay, so here you can see each oviduct or a fallopian tube is a 10 to 12 centimeter long. Okay, so here starting from this, okay, or we can say starting from the isthmus to infundibulum, a length of a oviduct or a fallopian tube is a 10 to 12 centimeter. Okay, and it has a three part. This portion is called infundibulum, that is a free end of a fallopian tube, it is called infundibulum, that is a funnel shape. Then middle portion is called ampulla. Then finally, which is connected with the uterus is called isthmus, and all these together is called fallopian tube. So any fallopian tube having a three portions: infundibulum, ampulla, and isthmus. Okay, so let me discuss one by one. Infundibulum is a funnel shape. Here you can see. Okay, in this diagram you can clearly see. This is the infundibulum, and that is a funnel shape opening. Okay, and with many finger-like fimbriae. You can see here, this is a finger-like fimbriae here. It will help to collect the ovum. As I told you already, this is the ovary suppose. Okay, so ovary will release the egg cell, and that release egg cell during the ovulation period, this ovulated egg cell will be received by this infundibulum. That's why at that time this fimbriae play a very important role to receive the egg cell. Okay, so this will play a very important role to collect the ovum. So fimbriae is very important here. Next one is a middle part is a ampulla, that is a wider part of a fallopian tube. Then isthmus is a narrow part of a fallopian tube, and it will join the uterus. Means here you can see isthmus is directly connected with the uterus. Okay, and that is the last portion of a fallopian tube. The ciliated epithelium line the lumen of a oviduct. So this fallopian tube is covered internally with the ciliated epithelium, and which will drive the ovum towards the uterus. As a result of that, this egg cell which is connected here, or means which is received by this infundibulum, will be moved towards the uterus by using the oviduct which is having the ciliated epithelium. And even after sexual intercourse, whatever the sperm cells are added in the uterus will be traveled together by using this ciliated epithelium. So ciliated epithelium play very important role for the migration of egg cell and the sperm cells. Next structure is a uterus, or it is also called womb. It is a single, large, muscular and highly vascular and inverted pear-shaped organ. Okay, here you can see this is a uterus, and that is look like a inverted pear shape. Okay, and it is present in the pelvis between the bladder and the rectum. Already I told you this is urinary bladder and this is the rectum. In between these two, you can see here this will be present in between the bladder, that is urinary bladder, and the rectum. So it is the inverted pear shape. As I told you, uterus is looking like an inverted pear shape. Here you can see this is suppose pear. Okay, and if you invert it, okay, it will look like a inverted pear shape. That's why it is look like a inverted pear shape, and that's why it is written here uterus shape is a pear shape. Okay, so it is supported by ligament attached to the pelvic wall. Okay, and uterus has a three part. Here you can see uterus having a three part. This is a fundus, upper fundus, middle portion or a middle body, and finally this terminal portion is called cervix. So uterus having a three portions or a three part. Upper part is called fundus. Here you can see middle part or a middle body, and then terminal cervix. Final part is called cervix. Okay, cervix open into the vagina. Here you can see, suppose this is a cervix region. Okay, and innermost is a cervical canal, and it will open into the vagina. This portion is called vagina. The uterine wall has three layers. As I already told you, uterine wall having a three layers. Okay, this wall is made up of three layers as it is indicated here. The outermost is a perimetrium. Okay, so this is an external thin membrane. Then second one or a middle one is a myometrium, and there is a middle thick layer of a smooth muscle, and then this is the endometrium. This is the innermost layer. Okay, and there is a inner granular and a vascular layer. So these three layers will be found in the wall of a uterus. So now we can say that this uterine wall is made up of three layers. Outermost is the perimetrium, middle one is a myometrium, and third one or innermost is the endometrium. So now let me discuss about function of these layers. Okay, so first of all, endometrium. So endometrium undergoes cyclic changes during the menstrual cycle. Okay, and this menstrual cycle we will learn in detail in this chapter. And the next one, this middle layer is a myometrium that will exhibit strong contraction during the parturition, during the birth of a child. This is the function of a myometrium and endometrium. So next structure is a vagina. Okay, so we have already discussed about these ovaries. Okay, then we have discussed about fallopian tubes. Then we have discussed about uterus. Okay, and now let me discuss about this vagina. Okay, so here you can see the definition of a vagina. That is a large median fibromuscular tube. Okay, that will extend from cervix. Here you can see the cervix. That is the end of a uterus. Okay, it will start from cervix to vestibule. Okay, so vestibule is nothing but it is a space between the labia minora. So let me repeat what is a vagina, a definition of a vagina. It is a large median fibromuscular tube extend from cervix to vestibule. Okay, and that is vestibule is nothing but it is a space between the labia minora. And then lined by non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium tissue. Okay, so be very clear about this structure of a vagina. Vagina opens to exterior between the urethra and the anus. Okay, this vaginal orifice will be open exterior between the urethra and the anus. The lumen of a vagina here in this portion, it will lined by glycogen-rich mucous membrane, and it will consisting of a sensitive papillae and Bartholin gland. The specific kind of a gland is present over there, and that is called Bartholin gland. Okay, and this gland is secretion will help in the lubrication of a penis during the sexual intercourse. Vagina is a highly vascular and opens into vestibule through the vaginal orifice. So end of the vagina is called vestibule. Okay, and this vestibule now open outside the body by using this vaginal orifice. And this vaginal orifice will be partially covered by mucous membrane, and that is specially named as a hymen. So it is covered with the partially covered with the mucous membrane, and that is called hymen. So now let me discuss about some function of the hymen. Okay, the biological function of the human hymen is still uncertain. Means scientists are not much clear about the function of the hymen. Scientists then hypothesize that it protects the vagina from infection in infants, but they are not very clear about this function. Okay, the social function of the hymen is, however, has been and still is a mythical symbol of a virginity in a female. Okay, so it is considered as a mythical symbol of a virginity in a female in many cultures, and also it allows the outflow of a menstrual blood. So in this diagram you can see different kind of a hymen. Okay, so different kind of hymen may be present in different kind of a female. So this is your homework for today's lecture, and before we finish this lecture, let me summarize whole topic by using one animation video. So look at this video.
The female reproductive system includes the ovaries, oviducts, uterus, cervix, vagina, and the external genitalia located in the pelvic region. along with a pair of mammary glands. It supports the process of ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, childbirth, and childcare. Let us study each organ in detail. The female reproductive system includes a pair of ovaries, located one on each side of the lower abdomen. They are the primary sex organs as they produce the ovum or the female gamete. Each ovary is about 2 to 4 centimeters in length. They are connected to the pelvic wall and the uterus by ligaments called mesovarium. Each ovary is covered by an outer thin layer called the germinal epithelium. The germinal epithelium encloses the ovarian stroma, which is further divided into the outer cortex and the inner medulla. The cortex consists of many ovarian follicles in different stages of development. The ovarian follicle is the basic unit of the female reproductive system and is composed of roughly spherical aggregations of cells found in the ovary. The accessory ducts of the female reproductive system are the vagina, oviducts, and the uterus. The pair of oviducts or fallopian tubes is about 10 to 12 centimeters long and extends from the periphery of each ovary to the uterus. Each oviduct is differentiated into 3 parts, namely the infundibulum, ampulla, and isthmus. The infundibulum is a dilated funnel close to the ovary, and its edges are surrounded by finger-like projections called the fimbriae. They help collect and push the ovum into the oviduct after ovulation. The ampulla is the swollen and curved part behind the infundibulum. The fertilization of the ovum takes place in this part. The isthmus is a narrow and straight cavity, and it joins the uterus. The uterus is a hollow, pear-shaped muscular organ and is highly distensible. It is situated in the pelvic cavity between the urinary bladder and the rectum. It is also known as the womb. It is supported by ligaments attached to the pelvic wall known as mesometrium. The uterus opens into the vagina through a narrow cervix. The cavity of the cervix is called the cervical canal, which, along with the vagina, forms the birth canal. The wall of the uterus is composed of 3 layers of tissues. The outer thin membranous layer is called the perimetrium. The middle thick layer of smooth muscle is called the myometrium, and it helps during delivery by producing strong contraction motions. The inner glandular layer is called the endometrium, and it undergoes cyclical changes during the menstrual cycle. The vagina is a muscular tube starting from the lower end of the uterus up to the outside. The opening of the vagina in young females is partially covered by a thin membrane called the hymen. The hymen is frequently ruptured in childhood due to strenuous physical exercise.
In next lecture, we will learn about female reproductive system part 2. So till that, goodbye.